Hello, everyone. Welcome to the audio version of our information session. My name is Jen Weidrich. I'm one of the talent sourcing specialists at Farmers Insurance. I've been with the company for about 7 years, mainly in a recruiting world. So really my job here is to find potential candidates to become one of our farmers agency owners. Today, we're going to be actually reviewing a variety of different programs that we do offer. And to do that, I wanted to basically act as a candidate. So I'm going to basically pretend like I don't know anything about the company. And we're going to have our special guests talk about the company's background, the different programs we offer, and then the process in general on how to become an agent with us. So first, I'm going to introduce our guests. First, we have Jackie DiGiacomo. She is one of the local recruiters. And then I'm also going to introduce Michael Redden. He's the director of recruiting, and both of them are working in New York and Connecticut. So first, Jackie, if you want to say hi and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Great. Thank you, Jen. Yeah, so my name is Jackie DiGiacomo. I have been an agency recruiter with Farmers for about 3 years now. And a little bit about what I do is I help educate individuals who are interested in learning about our agency ownership opportunities. So I'll help explain the various different entry points and, of course, explain all the benefits that would come along with it.
Great. And Mike, what's your deal?
Hi, my name is Michael Redden. I have been with the organization for 10 years. I'm currently the Director of Agent Recruiting for Farmers Insurance in New York and Connecticut. What I do is I basically work with a team of talent sourcing specialists and recruiters to help identify folks that are looking to start a career in insurance or start a business with Farmers Insurance. Along the way, I've had a very exciting journey. I've helped farmers open up in a number of states, and we're happy to be here today to share more about our agent entry points.
Fantastic. So first, let's talk a little bit about Farmers. Mike, if you could just tell us a little bit about like the background, how long we've been around, and how we're involved in the community and things like that.
Sure. So Farmers Insurance has been around a little over 90 years. We're considered a top 10 insurance carrier in terms of market share across the country. We're owned by Zurich Insurance Services, which is the second largest insurance conglomerate in the world. We are called Farmers. Ironically enough, we do not insure farms on our own product, but we're called Farmers because when we started in the agricultural communities of Southern California to basically offer the folks that live in those communities a more competitive rate on their auto insurance than maybe folks could get in the inner cities of Los Angeles, San Francisco, and other metropolitan areas. We're very involved with the local community, particularly in the veterans community. We have a number of initiatives that we run to help folks transition out of the military. In addition to that, we help our agents get involved in our local community to kind of build their brand within our brand. And if there's one thing that you could take away from Farmers is that we call ourselves the Farmers family. We're really big on community outreach and giving back to our customers. We do have a very large advertising and marketing budget, and as part of that, we do have a sponsorship with the PGA Tour for the Farmers Insurance Open, which usually takes place in early February in Torrey Pines, California. And we're also have a large sponsorship in the Rose Bowl Parade. We're actually the largest insurance carrier in the state of California, and our home office is in Los Angeles. So we have deep roots in that community, and as part of that, we participate in that parade.
Very nice. So, I kind of want to jump over to what Farmers has to offer in regards to the products that are offered. A lot of people think that we only offer like property and casualty, so your auto, home, commercial products, but a lot of people are very surprised that we offer much more than that. So, Jackie, can you tell us a little bit more about the different products we have and what options are available if we don't have a product available?
Absolutely. So we offer over 20 different products and services. Our main bread and butter is going to be property and casualty insurance. So think your auto, home, renters, motorcycle, those types of insurance is really our bread and butter. And then in the states of New York and Connecticut, we have a unique situation where we don't require you to really sell life, accident, or health products. We do this because Farmers Insurance does not have a product to offer in those two states in terms of life and health. So instead, we have a relationship with Equitable Advisors. He'd be directly appointed with Equitable. And because we do not offer the life and health product, you really do have the opportunity to appoint yourself with any life or health carrier you'd like to. So think of like Aflac or Colonial Life. Those are two strong carriers that really only focus on life and health products and not PNC as well. So you do have some flexibility there. We also offer financial services. We offer simple plans like 529s, 401ks, annuities, etc. So we work with 20 different carriers in that field. We work with companies like BlackRock, Putnam, Franklin Templeton, AIG, and much more. We would actually sponsor your security licenses. However, we do not require you to be security licensed for that 6 or 63 or 7. The main requirements to be licensed for Farmers would be your property and casualty, and then your life, accident, and health. So financial services is really just another great revenue stream that you could add to your agency and take advantage of. Now, Jen also mentioned some outplacement options. So we do have a few different options. So if your client or your candidate is not eligible for certain products, let's just say they're too close to the water, or maybe they had prior insurance issues previously. So if we do have some issues there, we have outplacement options. We work with a wholly owned brokerage that we own called Craft Lake. We also use Foremost, Bristol West, Farmers Insurance, and then we actually have great news to share. Over the summer, Farmers made a very large acquisition, and we were able to acquire the MetLife home and auto products. Now they're going to be rebranded as Foremost Signature. So just to recap, in total, you'll have access to Farmers Insurance, Foremost Signature, Foremost, Bristol West, and then Craft Lake. Craft Lake is more about our commercial risks, where Bristol West would be our substandard, and then everything else should fall right in between Farmers and Foremost. And really the bottom line is you have many different options with Farmers, so you really don't have to turn away any clients. And
very nice.
that was
sounds like
a
pretty much
long-winded answer, but sorry about that.
No, it's good. All right. So, so in regards to becoming an agent, I know that I mentioned previously that we have a variety of different programs that we offer. Today, we're really only going to be talking about our retail program and our Protege program. So Mike, I'm going to have you talk about our retail program, which tends to be our most popular, if not lucrative, opportunity. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Thank you, Jen. Absolutely. So our retail program is essentially our flagship entry point for agent candidates that are looking to come on board and start their agency with us. It involves opening up a retail storefront with staff and essentially planting your farmer's flag in a local town or community that you would like to do business in. It does have a capital requirement. When we talk about a capital requirement, I want to be clear here. There is no buy-in to become a farmer's agent. This is not a franchise opportunity, and we do not charge franchise fees. We do ask that you show us capital because we would like to see that if you have the financial wherewithal to run a business. The number one reason why businesses fail in this country is because they are undercapitalized when they start. So we want to make sure that if we're going to invest a lot of resources into helping you build your agency, that you're going to be able to hold up your end of the bargain and keep that agency going until the book of business can sustain itself. The capital requirement for the retail program is $50,000. You essentially show us a bank statement showing us that you have that money, and then we essentially just move forward with the next parts of the process. To become a farmer's agent, regardless of the entry point, you need your property and casualty and your life, accident, health producer licenses. Now, in the state of New York, that can be deviated between an agent license and a broker license. For property casualty, you need both. For life, accident, health, you need the agent license. In Connecticut, you would just need the producer license for each line of business. In addition to the capital, you would also be required to start with at least 2 staff members. How you manage and compensate those staff members is up to you as an independent business owner. However, if you're looking for some ideas on how to structure your agency or what type of value the staff can bring, those topics are covered in your training, and we also have bonus calculators that will help you kind of figure out what your cash flow would be the first couple of years as you're running your business. We do help you find staff through our vendors. one of which is called Ideal Traits. And Ideal Traits is a preferred vendor of Farmers, and they hook right up into our agency dashboard and our marketing system so that you can post job postings for your agency and kind of manage your recruitment that way. As far as potential income, you should know that the retail program is very lucrative. It comes with a signing bonus. It comes with marketing bonuses, as well as a monthly production bonus and annual production bonus that you can earn to help you offset the cost of growing your business. The monthly production bonus is actually uncapped as well. So we have seen folks start with 2 staff, which is the minimum, and seen folks start with even more than that. In fact, we have some folks in Pennsylvania and in Florida that have started with staffs of close to 10 people. As far as the expenses that you will incur as a retail agent, they would include the monthly rent of your office location. Your office location in this program is meant to be public facing. We have a number of different looking types of locations. Some folks may have a standalone, almost home-looking type of office that resembles a real estate office. Other folks may be in strip malls. And then depending on where you are located, some of those offices can even deviate from that. So your expenses would include the monthly rent for that location, the expenses that you would incur for having a staff, and as well as any expenses that would be involved with your monthly marketing activities. While there are some expenses, keep in mind that we do have a very lucrative bonus program in this to help you offset those costs. And also keep in mind that those expenses could resemble a tax write-off, which is something that you would need to talk to your accountant in regards to. But as a business owner, you can enjoy many of the tax advantages that folks that do own their business enjoy. Next, Jen.
Perfect. So that's awesome information there. I think that's a great opportunity, especially for somebody who has a strong sales and management background. I know a lot of people get concerned thinking that they don't necessarily have an insurance background, but I think they'll soon realize that this is an opportunity really for just somebody who is an entrepreneurial minded individual. And we have a lot of resources to help them be successful. But also to lead off of that is, you know, we do have other programs as well. I mentioned our Protege program. Which may be more suited for somebody who's like brand new to the industry and really kind of wants to baby step it, if you will, into the world of insurance. So Jackie, if you could talk to us a little bit more about that program and how it might be suited for different individuals.
Yeah, absolutely. So as you may be able to tell, we certainly have different programs for individuals of all different walks of life. The Protege program is a very unique program where you truly get a year of mentorship by a local host agent. And our host agents are handpicked to make sure that they can provide you that success. Throughout your time, you typically have about a year there. Sometimes it takes anywhere from 7 to 12 months to graduate because there is a production requirement. That production requirement is $100,000 of new business premium within 12 months. Now, you and your host agent, the host agent is there to help you. They will help you by obtaining leads for you to call on, for you to help hit that production requirement. Once you do complete it, you are now eligible to graduate and open your own agency. And kind of the beauty of the Protege program is that when you do graduate, you've already proved to us through the sweat equity and cutting your teeth that you could run your own agency successfully. So at that point, we waive that capital requirement for you. So you can walk right in opening your own agency with a year of mentorship under your belt and truly know what to expect for your future years of your agency. It's a wonderful program. And I definitely ask if anybody is interested. I'm more than happy to discuss in more detail.
Perfect. So both of you have kind of touched base on this throughout our conversation so far, but it sounds like Farmers offers quite a bit of support in regards to helping their agents be the most successful that they can be. So Mike, if you could just tell us a little bit more about like just maybe like training, how we support them marketing wise and things like that.
Absolutely. So the first thing that I would tell anybody that would be listening to this is you do not need insurance experience to enter into this opportunity. In fact, we have had plenty of candidates come to us over the years that had no experience and went on to become very successful insurance agents. I can think of one who is a President's Council agent in the state of New Jersey, for example, who prior to coming to us was a blackjack dealer at a casino. Many of the folks that come to us do have some entrepreneurial experience, but we also have hired plenty of folks from places like Enterprise Rent-A-Car, as well as many others. So what we do to help those folks make this transition is we offer an award-winning training. There is a portion of our company that is quite large that we refer to as the University of Farmers. When you are coming on board, they will train and support you to get you ready to open up your agency. So if you're a retail agent, you'd go through a 5-week training program, which would include roughly 3 weeks of a lot of self-study, online modules, and field activities, and then 2 weeks of classroom training. After that, you'll be working with an onboarding consultant who will be your main point of contact. And then after you come on board as an official agent with us, the training is really ongoing. So periodically, we may offer training for specific lines of business, maybe in the spring around boats, because boats are going back in the water, or motorcycles because they're going back on the road. Or maybe in the winter, for example, we'll do training on snowmobiles and things that we might see a little bit more during that time in terms of the seasonality of things. We'll also help train you on some business ownership fundamentals. We'll train you as well on marketing strategies. And while the training is very robust up front, that training will be ongoing throughout your career. As far as marketing support, we have about a $250 million marketing budget that we implement through various channels, whether it be marketing on television, marketing through digital advertising, or marketing locally. A lot of that lead activity is shared with our agents, whether it's a quote that customer got from our call center but decided not to take, or even a policy that we may bind and end up giving to an agent for the servicing rights. But in addition to that, we also have the agency growth program, which will help an agent get set up with a website and also build a marketing strategy that can be really diverse. Some of it may include buying leads in the local community. Some of them may involve sponsoring events or creating networking groups so that they can get warm referrals. So we do help you offset the costs of many of those things, but sometimes there is a portion of that that you will incur as a business owner. And again, as I mentioned before, that's a business expense that you should be able to write off. That's something that you would want to talk to your accountant about. As far as the leads, some of the vendors that we work with include folks that are selling auto and home leads, something called an X date as well, which is essentially the renewal date on a policy that you can buy and market around. We do send online leads from farmers.com as well as leads that come from our call center. What you also get in terms of the support is, as I mentioned before, when you're going through training, you'll be working with an onboarding consultant. And when you become an agent, you'll be working with a new agent specialist as well as an area sales leader. Those folks are working with all the agents in your local geography and can share best practices and good marketing strategies that should allow you to become successful. Now, if you're going through the Protege program, you're going to pick up many of these things from your mentor agent. We don't just let any agent become a mentor agent. It's usually somebody that has been proven and has a track record of success. And what we oftentimes see with folks that graduate the Protege program is they're able to take those best practices they learned from their mentor and implement them very quickly.
Very, very nice. So in regards to the requirements to become an agent, I know, again, we've touched base on this a little bit throughout, but Jackie, if you can just kind of tell us the differences between the retail and the Protege program, again, just remind us of what the capital requirements are. And then if people are interested in licensing, are there any options for them to utilize through us? Just the typical requirements of the opportunities.
Absolutely. So yes, we do have a few requirements. The capital requirement for a retail program is showing access to $50,000. And as Mike had previously mentioned, there's no buy-in fees, there's no transfer of funds, we are not a franchise. But Farmers does want to see that you have access to these funds in the event that you need to use it. Let's say that you have to buy furniture or computers. We just want to see that you have access to those funds. So some ways of showing that you have access, it would be a bank statement or an ending balance statement from either a money market account, checking savings, which could be business or personal. 401k, if you provide us with a 401k, we do 50 cents on the dollar. So if you want to show 100,000, that would qualify you for our $50,000 capital requirement for your 401k. We also allow cash value in life insurance policies. So again, it's just a one-time show that we ask to verify that you are eligible to move forward. The next item would be licensing. So we do require you to have your property and casualty producing license, as Mike had mentioned, as well as your life, accident, and health. Now, to get onboarded and started into our training program, you need those two licenses. So property, casualty, life, accident, and health. Now, if you are interested in working with a recruiter and moving forward in the program, we could certainly provide you discounted courses through our vendor Excel solutions. So we can just please follow up with Jen if that's something you are interested in learning about. Our last requirement would be our background check. Now, we will run a background check just to verify your eligibility. It's a soft pull on credit and checks for any criminal history. And one last item that I do want to mention, since Jen asked, is our Protege capital requirement. Now, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, when you complete the Protege program, that 1 year of mentorship, and you successfully graduate, our capital requirement is waived. So you do not have to show any proof of funds for that $50,000 capital. You are able to enter into owning an agency immediately after graduating that program.
Nice, thank you so much. So Mike, the next question I have here is overall strategy on placing agents. We get a lot of questions about, just where are agents being placed, what's the saturation, things like that. So can you just tell us a little bit more about where we're really focusing in both New York and Connecticut, and are there any plans to expand or anything like that that you can provide?
Sure. So the first thing that I would tell anybody is that we do take the location of our agent offices very seriously. We don't want to put our agents right on top of each other, and we want to give them all room to grow. And there's a number of things that we take into consideration when we're making those decisions, such as population density, how the agents in the area are currently doing, the underwriting gains and losses from the book of business that is generated there, as well as maybe several other things as well, including underwriting guidelines, how close to the coast it may be, etc. The state of New York happens to be one that is very unique in the sense that it's almost a tale of two states, right? Upstate New York tends to be a little bit more rural and a little bit more simpler to underwrite as compared to downstate New York. In the state of New York, we're really looking in the next upcoming years to emphasize growth in upstate New York and what I would refer to as the lower Hudson Valley. So that would essentially be Westchester County, north of Yonkers and above. While we do have agents in downstate New York, including the boroughs of New York City, which would be Manhattan, the Bronx, Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island, we're really not looking to put any more retail agents in that area for the upcoming years. This also applies to the county of Nassau, and we are currently not placing agents in the county of Suffolk. What we can do for folks that may be interested in opening up in either Queens or Nassau is we can start those candidates as proteges and help them build good underwriting habits before we launch their agencies. The reason why we are doing that is essentially we're seeing a lot of claims activity downstate, and so what we're trying to do is be a little bit more prescriptive in the folks that we do hire and bring on board there. And while we are doing that, we're looking to grow our book of business in the other regions of the state to kind of counteract and balance our footprint. We do have a great opportunity in New York, and we're very excited. And what I could tell you is in the state of Connecticut, we happen to be growing very quickly, and we can really place agents across the state. There are some areas where we may need more agents than others. I could tell you that the lower Connecticut, Fairfield County, where there's a lot of wealth and a lot of population, is an area where we can deploy agents. We just recently launched our MetLife product there, which again is branded Foremost Signature. And what I can tell you is that the new business sales have spiked considerably, and we are very confident that we'll be able to grow and grow profitably in Connecticut. Going back to New York, Westchester County also is another area which borders on Connecticut, where we're very excited and we think that we can grow in the upcoming years. For folks that are close to a border, whether it's a border of New York and Connecticut or New York and New Jersey, we do allow cross-border appointments so that you can write in each state. From time to time, there may be things that we want to look at, and we may want to see an agent establish themselves before we offer that appointment, because oftentimes there's a little bit different underwriting guidelines in each state. But that is an opportunity that we offer. It's part of our culture, and we have plenty of agents that do have cross-border appointments. So that's something to take into account as you're considering this opportunity.
So if someone is interested in pursuing one of our programs, especially in one of the areas that you mentioned, what's a typical process look like? Jackie, can you take that one?
Absolutely. So if you're interested in learning a little bit more, you will speak with the recruiter. We'll have a few discovery conversations just to explain the programs, the different entry points that we have, the benefits, the requirements, really the whole nine. And if you're interested in continuing that conversation, we'll process a background check to verify your eligibility, as mentioned. If you are not licensed, that recruiter will help you register for your licensing school. We have documents and PDFs to really give you a step-by-step process on getting licensed and applying that license to the state. If you are already licensed and ready to move forward, we can put you onto a reserve contract, and that reserve contract gets you into our training program. During that time, you'll go through our 5-week virtual training, and you'll also be quoting and binding products to really test out the market and make sure that this is the best option for you. When you become a reserve agent, you will then be onboarded with what's called an onboarding consultant, and they will set you up and really enter you into that 5-week training program. Once the training is finished, an area sales leader will assist you for opening your agency. And that area sales leader is really there for you throughout your whole entire career to make sure that you're moving along smoothly, and you're informed of any updates the Farmers has to provide, and that you don't have any questions when running that agency. Typical time frame, great question. So how long does this look? If you're not licensed, it's going to be a little bit longer, typically about maybe 5-6 months. If you are already licensed and pretty much ready to move forward, you can look at really a 3 to 5 month timeline to get through our training, find your location, and find your staff. So all in all, anywhere from 3 to 5 months, 3 to 6 months, you could be opening your agency.
Fantastic. So before we close everything out, because this has been a lot of information, but some good information, is there anything else you two want to add or in regards to the opportunity, or anything that you tend to find candidates ask on the regular that you might want to touch base on?
Sure. What I would say is that we're really proud of the history that we are building here in the New York and Connecticut markets. I think the one thing that you can take away is that makes us pretty unique is that while we're a known brand across the country, and while we are one of the biggest insurance carriers nationally, here in New York and Connecticut, we're still essentially a startup, and we have plenty of market share that we can still gain. And there are plenty of areas available where we haven't been able to put an agent yet. So you'll kind of get the benefit of having a large infrastructure behind you, but essentially you'll be quoting many people that haven't yet interacted or conducted business with us before.
Mike, how much market share would you say we have in Connecticut and New York?
That's a great question. It's less than 5%. In New York, it might even be closer to 3%. When you look at that in comparison, in California, for example, we're closer between 15 and 20%, whereas in Texas, we have a very similar footprint.
Perfect. So, Jackie, anything you want to add?
Yeah, the only thing I would like to add is if anybody's interested, even if you're just interested to learn a little bit about what Farmers has to offer, please don't hesitate to reach out. I'm so willing to speak to anybody and have that conversation. You could reach out to me directly via cell. My cell phone is 585-629-9359. Feel free to give me a call or a text, and I'm happy to help at any moment.
Fantastic. And one thing I want to mention is, this might not be an opportunity for you after hearing all this, which is fine. But if you happen to know of anybody else that might be interested, we do also offer a $5,000 referral bonus. So definitely keep that in mind. But I think we've definitely shared a lot of information today, some very helpful information that would, kind of help someone determine if they want to move forward in the next step. So I really want to thank you, Jackie and Mike, so much for providing an overview of what it means to be an exclusive Farmers agent. and thank you to our listeners for taking the time to hear what we have to offer. One of our representatives will follow up with you to get your thoughts and see if this opportunity is the right fit for you. So thank you again and have a great day.
Thank you very much.
All right. Take care, everyone.